Hello, Internet. Welcome to the Ordeals of Livistio, featuring the Retinue. Hello, Retinue. Say hi. Come on.
Yola.
I
Hola.
think that's the name we're going with from now on, right? I heard Rube say that in the pre-show. The secret pre-show. Which you can find on Patreon. No, I'm kidding. You can't find that anywhere. Oh... We don't have paywalls, we just hide things. Oh. I don't know what you said, Greg. I just blew through.
I said I've tried that. The conversion rate is not strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. God. Maybe we just need to get more people to bribe us for content somehow. Speaking of bribing people, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. One quick time for the audience and who our characters are. Jeff, we're going to start with you because I like starting at the bottom and working my way to the top.
Woo! Well, hello, I am Jeff. I will be playing Felix Balzac Passereau, which is the champion of the Prince of Livistio.
Very cool, very cool. Diggy, you're up next.
Hello. I am Diggy. I'm playing as Eliva Hito, your lovely spy master. And don't believe the hate. I am innocent in all things.
Oh, okay, thanks. Makes begin to doubt, but alrighty. Next up is Rube.
I'm Rube, as you just heard. I'll be playing Snefru, the Gnome Wizard. I don't know what else to say about him.
He's gnome and a wizard. What else is there to say?
Greg, you're up next as my
With legs.
dramatic music kicks in.
All right, perfect. I deserve dramatic music. I am playing Glynis, our Prince of Livistio, and all around good guy who's bleeding out on the ground as we speak. Hopefully this does not, speak of things to come for the kingdom.
Hopefully. Maybe it's not an omen just yet, or is it? Henrietta.
It's me, Henrietta, and I play Yonsei, your best bae, best one on the team.
Are you your own hype man? Is that what's going on?
The OG.
Yeah.
We also need to introduce the banana man that's currently on screen.
Yes! I was saving Banana Man for last. Currently,
Okay.
and unfortunately, we have lost Seth, along with his dog that possesses the nuclear launch codes. It turns out aliens are real. They have invaded and have abducted him. Presumably taking him to Mars or the stars, where they will interrogate him and his hound until they make a daring escape back to Earth. We wish you luck, Seth, wherever you are. I salute you. Yes, Seth will no longer be joining us for his campaign. It is sad and unfortunate. Although I did make a joke out of it. We are sad to see him go. Or at least I am. Maybe some of you are happy. Maybe I can sow some seeds of doubt and discord already. Ooh. No.
My existence is doing that more than enough.
True. Somehow, honestly, yeah. Does anyone wish to give a quick recap of what occurred last time we played?
I am so capable if need be.
Give us a recap, Greg.
I was like,
All right. So session 2 began with a wonderful argument about the flag that we will be building and flying for our retinue. There was, some discussion of giants on the flag and what that might mean, and how we would differentiate them from humans, and about the time we got to colors, we had to fade to black. As we learned how the party rests the night away. After a short rest, we decided that it was a job incomplete, and we ventured back out away from camp into the mountains once more, as we tried to figure out what these other humans the goblins had mentioned were doing outside of town. As we trekked through the obvious game trail, our goblin wizard produced some sorcery as he divined upon the winds the jibber jabber of goblins that were trying to lead us astray. And as the goblins humorously peppered us with rocks, we shot them dead and continued on unabashed. In short, quite convinced that we were on the correct trail. A bit further down the road, we spotted a marking, we will say, trees that are tied with red ropes and a path leading up the mountain pass. Here, we let our daring duo of Yonsei and Eleva scout ahead to find the nature of the party in front of us. Despite a brilliant effort by both of them involving pine cones of stealth and the song of stealth, they were unfortunately found out by what appeared to be a woodcutter and his apprentice. Quickly thinking as fast as they can, they announced themselves, jumped from their pine cones of stealth, and cast sleep upon them. Unfortunately, only catching one of them. This scuffle alerted the friends of the woodcutters, who came out with bows and started shooting at them, and routed our scouts from their place of, superiority. Clearly is the only word for it. And caused the rest of the party to lunge forward towards the sound of battle. Upon arriving, Andros bravely announced the arrival of the prince, and was aided by some thaumaturgical powers from our brave champion, and with the combination of this announcement, rattled their psyche enough that the bowmen retreated, allowing us to regroup, get our valuable intel that these are more than mere wood traders. They seem to be quite heavily armed and more bandito style than anything. Deciding that we needed to investigate further, we traveled the path of the red rope trees, but sneakily done, Glynis led them through the forest a little bit towards the riverside, allowing them to bypass the trap laid by the encampment and come upon them hidden and unseen. Here we saw bandits with heavy armor, crates of weapons and steel, and a large tent that clearly has nefarious something inside of it. Foul magics are afoot, I am certain. Here we waited them out until they split, and we ambushed them daringly, killing off scouts as they ran to get help, knocking out and completely disarming one of the characters. In a brief moment of puppy dog-like excitement, I ran towards Andros, who was 1v1ing a terrible champion. You know, those level 1 bandits, just so strong, so powerful. He turned around and he cut down the prince. Before shortly dying to an arrow in the face. That is where we left off. As my brave party tries to overcome the lack of their leader in this moment.
Good job.
Excellent recap.
Greg, I think you've just set a new precedent for detailed recaps that
No one's
you know, Henrietta is going to have a hard time.
Never met that. Yeah. Now everybody's going to be impressed when they need to to recap.
I do want to extrapolate on something you mentioned. Our stealth was great, but there's just no beating a natural 20 perception check. You know?
Clearly. No, I mean, the pine cones and Song of Stealth were clearly working.
Us yelling at each other. That was
active
John
You gave them
sabotage?
way too high of a perception check. You know.
Yeah,
No
the
reason an
DC was
NPC
so
should have a
high.
+7. Yeah, it's way too high.
we are going to resume our campaign not in the perspective of the prince who is in the middle of like some weird PTSD moment for a character that I can no longer, well, I will have to assume essentially control over for the time being. We are instead going to focus 6 seconds prior to the prince getting cut down, as we focus on Yancey, who stormed into an unguarded tent. This great, large command-style tent that is 30 foot in diameter, or 15-foot radius. You see all sorts of goodies here, Yancey. Of course, you know, you see the telltale signs of more military or militarized gear, such as rucksacks, swords that have been scabbarded, spears that line the wall, crossbows even, or at least light crossbows. You also see a table that has a very, very rough charcoal sketched map of Livistio, which you immediately recognize and are like, what? What's that doing here? No one owns maps, really. And you know, quickly glance in, and then you see it. The shiny, unsealed scroll of potential communique, when suddenly you hear Glynis exclaim, "Get him!" Or what did you say when you were like trying to hype Antros
I don't
up?
remember. I was like,
I love this high
Andros has
pitch.
got this. Yeah, let's go. I
And
was
then
like,
his
hyping
voice
him up.
just
I was
cuts
his-
off suddenly. As
Yeah.
it drops. Yancey, what do you do?
I mean, everything sounded like it was going great outside, and so the Yonsei was like really confident in their ability to not be involved in combat. It was like, you know, they got it. Like, I can do other things in my life. And then as soon as like things go silent, there's like a tension that rises in the air that you can probably feel a little bit. She just like bursts out of the tent. He's like, "Where is he? Where's the prince?"
You look to your immediate right, you see the champion, whose rapier is pointed at a guy who is fully surrendered, like, yeah, do you just want to, like, carve, like, a Z or an F along my chest? Like, let me help you out there. Just don't stab me to death, obviously. And then you turn left, and, you know, you're blocked by the tent, but you see, you know, a body with an arrow in its back, just sort of having collapsed over. And eventually you take a step out, Yancey, and you see Andros frozen over a carcass of another man who was shot, and then the fallen form of the prince. Your cousin, who you are apparently 33rd behind in line to the throne of Livistio, even though you absolutely have
say
no
anymore.
claim whatsoever to the throne of Livistio. Because you're on the mother's side.
You know what
of the
Yonsei sees? Yonsei sees his best friend. Cold and a little dirty, but clearly injured. Yonsei just like throws himself onto the floor like next to him. It's like, no, my prince!
You do a 17.5-foot dolphin dive to land right next to them in the most
Dive.
dramatic fashion ever.
Mud is all over them, just... I mean, I do have a spell that I could cast, I guess, that could be helpful here.
How Oscar worthy is your dolphin dive? I
Yeah,
wanna
can
know.
you give us a
how good is this performance?
You want a performance check on this?
Like
Yeah, of
on
course.
camp right now.
Listen. Alright, Yonsei knows how to put on a performance. If nothing else. Let's see. Where we at? Okay.
It's the
all right,
emotion,
you know
it's the
what?
emotion.
He's emotional right now. There's
Yeah.
maybe there's a little scrambling. All right, his shoes just aren't made like for this terrain. You know, it's-
The ground gives a little too much and you land a bit short, so you like crawl over before you start lamenting the fallen.
Exactly. Listen. He can do better, but you know, right now that's not important. What's important is that Yonsei can cure the wounds of his prince. and solve all the problems.
What does your healing magic
immense
look
skill.
like, Yonsei? I don't think we've ever seen you cast a healing spell before.
That is true. I would say very, very similar to how Yonsei treated Ballsy when he fell. She's like, her hands are like fluttering around, like touching him like everywhere. She's got like tears going down her face, like ruining all the makeup and everything like that. And then eventually he just like collapses over the prince's body and just like sobs into his chest really dramatically. It's like, rise, my prince. It's just a really big show.
Glynis, you have been healed, but I want you to roll me a death save. Not because you're going to die or you're in mortal danger, but if you make a fail here, you are going to be sporting a wound that is noticeable, that will be scarring up. And I would like you to mark that on your character's sheet if you fail
That is a
this
17. That is a successful death save.
yeah.
Your wound
You will see both
heals
your eyes.
immediately, it being superficial but having knocked you almost unconscious when suddenly you come to in the arms of your very distant cousin, who is just a mess and
I don't
essentially
think that
just
Yonsei is
rubbing.
actually my distant cousin. I think this is just, their thing they say, right? It's part of the joke, right? They're 33rd in line to the throne. It's part of the. It's part of the.
It is real, actually. Yonsei is related to you distantly. I like the idea that Yonsei knows this and the prince is just like, oh, Yonsei's just joking. Like, we're
One
not
day
really
this
thinks it's a
clown
joke,
showed
yeah.
up.
A dragon shows up and kills half of nobility, and now we have to deal with Yonsei being the queen.
First rule, no taxes.
Just
Oh,
People
open
say those were
revolt
bad, so I'm assuming
immediately.
they're
by-
correct.
Please heal 11 hit points, Glynis.
I will heal 10.
You will heal 10. Perfect.
All you have is 10 hit points.
Correct.
We are going to switch angles instead now to Snefru. Snefru, for a moment there, maybe 6 to 12 seconds, if we were keeping track of combat rounds, you just watch your prince get cut down. Your future monarch slash a person you have been essentially hired out to advise in the future. What was that moment like for Snefru as he...
Everything slowed down for him, and he's focused on watching him and then trying to find a way to get to him. But yeah, just utter despair, because he's tried for decades to get a position, and this might just send him back to the order. So he's going to try to remember, he's on a ledge taller than he is.
Yeah.
And he'd have to do his best to slide / skirt / not get hurt sliding down to check on the prince.
Yeah. If you want to give us an acrobatics check just to see, you're going to make it down, no problem. You're not even going to get injured from this, even if you now want it. I want to see, how stable is Snefru? Snefru, you have steady hands in a moment of pressure. You make
This
it
isn't
down.
the first cliff he's skedaddled down.
I can skedaddle
Wow.
quite well.
Yeah.
You skedaddle
Skedaddle,
down
check.
to the princeling. Eluva.
And
Oh,
I-
no, go
I-
for it.
go ahead. I was gonna say, once I see that Yonsei is working on him, I just stand vigil and hope he knows what he's doing.
Both genders are okay.
Call them whatever you want.
All the genders for Yonsei.
Eluva, you were the one who fell the bandit that was, quote-unquote, in a duel with Andros before, not being in a duel anymore, and then just, 180ing and then cutting down the prince. Did your, political career flash before your eyes, or what was that like for you?
Absolutely. I think she saw the prince go down, and this is her sort of one tie to a position of influence where she can do the things that she sets out to do. And it's also another notch on her belt, another reason. Because she wasn't getting involved before. She saw this sort of honorable duel. She didn't want to get involved. She didn't want to interfere. She respected the honor there, and it bit her in the ass. And sure, it didn't actually lead to the prince dying, but it very well could.
Very well could have.
Honestly, it was like 2 hit points short of just outright dying.
You are lucky it was not a crit.
Would have been one hell of a campaign.
We had some highs, we had some lows. Elva, what do you do in the moments following the resuscitation of your prince?
I think seeing the prince sort of open their eyes and get back up, she has some words to say to Andros, but now is not that time. Not in the middle of an enemy camp, not with, she doesn't know how far away the enemies are, but she does know that sounds tend to echo very far on these mountains. And she is going to be sliding down and investigating the tent.
Okay. You will be investigating the tent as we switch over to perspectives of Felix Passeru, also known as Ballsy by the crew.
I think at the beginning of whatever is happening, he's not really aware of the situation, and when he turns to see his prince on the ground, there is a warm unease pressing his temple as he realizes that this might be happening. And for a hot second, there is no title, no prince, but the friend with whom he shared duels and training, and there is just he just calls out as a goodness, and he'll just point his rapier at the bandits. You move, you die, and he'll just run to Glynis.
Yeah, you watch him just, okay. Mechanically, I am unconscious, so I can't actually take and he just cuts there. As you run
He's like,
off...
give me that knife, I'll carve my own F in my chest.
This guy is like 100% down to just be a prisoner. It is amazing how subservient he is. Felix, you rush to Glynis, who is getting awakened by Yonsei, the supposed cousin of, well, this heir.
Post it.
He doesn't know.
The rumors
Listen,
wanted
you were
them
related.
to be related.
There's a family tree. I'm on it.
So yeah, I'll feel way lighter as I see Glynis opening his eyes, and yeah, I think I'll just stop. Just what happened?
No,
What
man.
happened to him?
Johnsy doesn't know.
The bandit turned and got
Hit
him.
him so hard, his sword hit me too.
In this
clearly what
moment, you all, like, turn to Andros, who, I suppose fumbled the bag would be the best way to describe it, but essentially he had 4 attacks to bring onto a single bandit, who wasn't even well armored like all his other comrades, and then just kind of whiffed it. And the shame that has fallen onto his face, the self-declared bodyguard of the prince, not just failing to take down a single combatant, but also allowing a single combatant to injure his charge, his ward, could there be a greater shame for a knight? And he goes deathly silent upon that.
He's just shaking his head at him like,
Yeah.
get one job, Rossi. Just one. I don't have any jobs. And yet I did a better job.
I don't have any jobs.
No jobs. We cut to Eluva, who essentially likely just cut a hole in the back of the tent to waltz in.
Yeah.
Eluva, you are now in the command post / station / base, I suppose, of this well-armed bandit gang? Suspiciously armed bandit gang?
Yeah.
What do you do? Or should I repeat the room interior?
I believe you mentioned towards the end of that, before it was interrupted, something shining on the map, I believe?
Yes, on the table there is a charcoal map of Livistio. And upon closer inspection, you see that directly under it, almost impaled by one of the comically let's stab a map scenes that just happened off screen probably days ago.
Maps are so hard to make. Why would you do that?
It's a simple charcoal one, so it's just a rough sketch. It's literally like
Arrows
river,
in the background.
mountain, and then other river, and then like castle. That's essentially the map. And there's a little knife point hole that has been created where it's like, we're probably here? I don't know. Underneath this little destroyed / damaged map, you find a scroll, or what had once been a scroll, and then kind of cracked open, read, and then folded downwards into this very simple note now. There is a communique. I assume you open it and read it?
Yes, I would love to, in fact.
Yeah. You open it and quickly glance through it. This is uncoded common. These are very simple orders. What is not made clear is that whoever wrote them did not sign their name, nor in the wax that once sealed this letter. There is no insignia or signet showing who officiated these orders. But the following have been given to this band of either mercenaries or people disguised as bandits or just genuine bandits for hire. The orders are as follows. Enter Livistio and displace a local monster population to the best of ability. Supplies and reinforcements to follow upon hearing word of successful incursions of goblinoids or other bestial types into their domains. Stall the settlement of new lands by any means possible. Determination will see us through. And I will copy and paste that so that you may all take note of that if you wish.
Displace, it says?
Hey. I think I have an idea, but I'm going to want to be talking about this with my companions.
Yeah.
So, let's head on out.
To remind you all, it has been roughly 3 or 4 minutes since your attack began. The recovery process, the people, everyone who is alive catching their breath. However, you only did this assault after waiting, I believe it was around 10 to 15 minutes for the heavily armored clad patrol to leave. So,
Yes.
my question to you guys is, are you going to be sticking around for a time, trying to ambush this group, or is it time to skedaddle, and set things
I
on
think
fire.
that Glynis is very happy to set things on fire and skedaddle. Greg is curious what is in the boxes around the tent. It looks like tools on the map, but like, what is like if Glynis cracks open 3 or 4 of these boxes real quick, what does he see inside?
The crates are mostly filled with just general supplies. One, I believe, was described to be entirely filled with arrows that you could see, as if someone was, like, getting ready for a siege in some way, shape, or form. Like, a crate could easily fit, like, up to 700 arrows in it. Like, this is
I
a
had
lot.
previously investigated a crate, and at the bottom of it, I had found a seal of the trade baron. Let me go
Of agriculture.
The crest of the Minister of Agriculture. If I fish through the arrows real quick and look in the bottom, is there a similar seal?
You flip over the crate, spill out all the arrows onto it. You look at the fletching, you know, simple either chicken or duck feathers, likely, that have been put on these things. You look for not Cooper. Cooper. What do Coopers make shoes? A carpenter. Wow. You look for a carpenter's mark who would have commissioned these crates. And perhaps not unsurprisingly, for it really would take a noble and a person who commissioned the crafting of certain crates to be like, can you just put my crest on it real quick? Unsurprisingly, these crates do not have any discerning marks of who made them. Chances are this crate was from a foreign land and then made its way to a different foreign land and was just reused to stockpile arrows.
Beyonce, I believe you said you had oil at your disposal. I believe I'm satisfied here. If there's anything else we want to grab it. Otherwise, let us set this ablaze. Perhaps it will set them back some, and let us make our escape.
Can I search the failed bandits that are not our prisoners and see if I find any curiosities among them that might tell us where they might come from?
Is this to me or to Glynis? Are you asking permission?
I guess
from...
my prince.
Yeah.
By all means. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking the DM. Yes. By all means, search them. Make it quick. We do not want to be around when the others return.
Wow.
Snefru
Who's doing that? Could Beyonce kind of scoot on over after him to whisper in his ear for a second? Beyonce's like, I don't have any oil, nor do I know how to make a fire. Can you help me out here?
Oh,
was
our plan not to have you burn this down earlier?
Beyonce's
Who has
talking
oil?
to the prince. Beyonce's talking to Snefru.
I gave a flask of lamp oil to someone.
I thought you had.
I lamp oil to me, and then I gave the flask of lamp oil to Beyonce.
You guys look
have
at
a
this
flask
like
of
does
I
have
had
fire.
There was a lot of exchanging of hands.
Guys, there's an
lamp oil.
active fire that is being used to in this camp.
Great. All right, awesome. I know what to do. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Teamwork. Woo!
No problem.
Beyonce sprinkles lamp oil over everything that looks flammable. Woo!
Yeah.
Snefru rolls the bandits.
Yeah, give me an investigation check as you start going through pockets, looking for any identifiers or indications.
Nat 20.
You begin... Well, tell me, where do you first start your search? Just set the scene for me as you rifle through a corpse's belongings.
He uses his surprising strength to roll over the first bandit, the one that laid the prince low, and starts going through pockets and looking for tattoos, and then moves from body him and then the one on the other side of the tent. Those are the two he's focused on right now.
Okay, so these two guys.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing you will find is on this guy right in front of you is a religious symbol. Not that that's strange, I should say. However, you don't recognize which god it is. For the most part, gnomes are transient in their religious beliefs. They jump from pantheon to pantheon pretty readily, depending on a more practical usage of like which god is giving me the most for like bang for my buck, essentially, or in exchange for service. Like, what can I get from them? Humans are a little bit more geographical based, of like, oh, I'm from this country and we worship a human pantheon that goes, you know, Neptune, Jupiter, Mars, but, you know, a country down like 300 miles west, suddenly they're worshiping Zeus and Hera and Hercules, you know. He's not a god, that's a hero. Either way, you get my meaning. Like, there's a weird diaspora of human pantheons and gods. As you look at this symbol, this weird, almost horseshoe-like semicircle that has been, like, bent inward, creating almost a broken heart shape, just upside down. You palm it. It's not the greatest or largest thing, but it is made of, like, solid steel. And you try to think of, like, who would, one, has the resources to make steel iconography, and then, two, who cares enough to make it out of, like, a very hard material that is often, you know, too expensive for the modern or common bandit to get a hold of. These people were funded, clearly. You look at the stuff around you, and they were, like, religiously practicing bandits, which is also kind of weird because, you know, it's a weird form of belief that uncivilized outlaws wouldn't really care for or care to do. There is so much screaming at you that these guys are, like, dressed down soldiers, or maybe like the riffraff of a platoon, more so than just simple criminals acting as outlaws. You also find the back of... We're going to say you rifle through everyone's pockets, and we're just going to let you get all of the money here, and then you can divvy it out if you want. You're going to find a total in this camp of literally, oh, they hid stuff here, they grabbed stuff here. You're going to find a total of a whopping 30 gold pieces scattered across this entire camp.
Got it.
Alright, Yonze that fire things. Everyone else is ready to go.
Elva, have you collected everything you want from the command tent?
I think she is going to take a once over, seeing if she missed any clues. It's, for the most part, just doing what Snefru's already done, so...
If you'd like to give me an investigation check for the tent itself, go ahead.
I will gladly do that. Investigation. Where are you? There you are. Investigation. 22. Hey.
We're rolling hot tonight, guys. What's going on?
Yeah. I'm sure that this will continue to roll good and won't drop off at all.
True. I guess we did start with a nat, too. I'm not complaining.
Yes.
You go through the tent looking for anything that isn't out in the open nor obvious. And as you do, John checks his notes real fast and turns off this music. That's what he really wants to do.
It was just too emotional.
It was. Okay. Eluva, you will look around this room, and eventually you will notice that the command tent also has a foldable, or not foldable, but essentially like a hammock-based cot, or stylized cot that is supported by support beams, so someone could lay down without actually touching the cold winter earth. You check this person's belongings, assuming it is the captain who led the excursionary party out, searching for a prince, apparently. As you see, Yonsei is now dousing the interior with vegetable oil so that she can spark a fire and burn this
Lamp
place
oil is much stronger than vegetable oil, okay? Like, this is real
Lamp
stuff.
oil?
It's actually a type of kerosene. It is vegetable based. Though. It's a seed oil.
Stefru over there.
Bad for you.
My bad.
Well, you die, everyone.
She's dousing it with gasoline produced in a Venezuelan cocaine camp. Okay. So this is gonna explode like in the third Rambo movie. Alright.
Venezuela and
Beyonce's the
cocaine
star.
both exist here. Got it.
Alright. You head through this person's belongings, which are tucked away, nestled behind some crates that are filled with dry tack or hard tack and other sorts of dry rations. Opening it, you know, admittedly find the spot where this man would, like, keep his suit of chainmail. You find also a plain tabard that he might have worn over it to keep it somewhat away from the elements. But more important than that, you find an actual dagger. And not a, like, oh, this thing is meant for, like, multi-tool usage. This is like a, I am going to stake someone through the heart, punch through their armor, and end somebody's life kind of rondel dagger, where it has like a flat pommel that you put your palm on and shove into a person, often who is lying prone. You look at this very nice looking dagger, almost bordering masterwork here, and see the first insignia that you have seen anywhere in this entire camp. This personal heirloom or valuable sedimentary object, sentimental object, excuse me. It's soil now. You look at this image of what appears to be like a big beetle with its mouth open. That's the first thing you get, just off the cuff. Maybe someone else would have a different interpretation, but you are a foreigner to these lands.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. All right. I have information to share with the group once we are safe, but for now, it is time to set fireworks, unless someone else has more investigations to do.
I go to Felix, who has a prisoner. What do you do with this guy who's like...
I'll make sure we can bring him with us. I'll tie him up, and I'll make sure I can put like a piece of clothing in his mouth or whatever, so that he cannot scream. Just to make sure we are not followed. And yeah, he's gonna join us on our travel. I believe we should bring him back to the castle. If someone is resilient to it, no.
As you are sticking
I think
a cloth...
we'll bring this one.
Oh. Gladys says, I think we'll bring him. The guy, like, is surrendered, mechanically at 0 hit points, literally can't walk right now, and says, wait a minute, guys, wait. Before you drag me into a snowfield for whoever knows how many days, one, I'll only slow you down. So what if you just, like, knock me out, and then, leave me here for dead? And then he's trying to, like, talk his way out of not going with you guys. Like, I'm totally down with being your prisoner, but if you want me to drag you down, like, that's your prerogative.
So, is that just him being afraid of following us, or is it the DM trying to be sleek about it and just telling me that I should live in here?
This guy has been super casual about surrendering this entire time. It's entirely up to you how you want to interpret that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do believe we should bring him. He is gonna be slowing us down, that's for sure. But I do believe that the few information he can bring us might be worth it.
Yep.
All right, well,
Hey,
who's
man,
gonna carry
look,
my
we've
legs?
got a
Someone needs to
big,
get my
strong
arms.
Andros here. He can carry that guy.
Yeah. Andros will carry him.
Andros begins to tug at his chainmail, realizing his strength is pretty low, in fact.
Look, Andros, I mean, if you were anything other than the stud you are, I would say, you know, you could do it. Like, this might be, you know, outside of your control, but if you need to, just leave the chainmail. I'm sure that, you know, you won't need it in the near future.
It's
know?
split mail, my bad. I don't remember everyone's character sheet. But he does a quick athletics check to, like, carry this man. Like, someone's gonna need to carry my 73 pounds of gear, not including my splint mail. Athletics check. Are we rolling hot? We are actually rolling pretty hot tonight, guys. Even I am for Andros. Yeah, Andros is able to hoist and heft and push and pull, moving essentially half speed while dragging this guy. If Felix were to help, we could get closer to, like, full speed.
I will, yeah.
Okay. So essentially both of you, like, hoist this man up by his armpits, who he can't move for now. In 1d4 hours, he will be able to walk again, and then you can, like, point him at, encourage him to go in a direction.
Sure.
Okay. Grabbing your stuff
here
on...
is to leave this. I think the goal here is to leave this place behind, set it on fire for the bandits to return to, and then return to, like, the woods, like the same path we took to get here, so that we can try to sneak around and away from the heavily armored party.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe the heavily armored party left through the, I'm just going to assume Cardinal direction, south entrance, so if we head north, we should be fine.
Back to where we
They
came.
left down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where they went. You guys came from this angle up here. So essentially, you guys are going to shoot north by northeast and hope that when they come north by northwest, you can just slip around them. Which means I need to take us to the regional map, which is what I
big
will
map.
do as soon as I figure out how.
There you go, map.
I'm gonna close this blind real quick. It's getting me.
Yeah, go for it. Is your plan, Glynis, to lead your team back to the sheds, or are you heading straight to the kingdom?
I think that my plan is to kind of reverse pivot. Like, I want to take the path, like, down by the river, the same type of path we took to get here, to where, like, the edge of the road is, and hopefully miss this party. And then from there, I think we want to stop by the camp, because that's where we left all of the supplies that we re-requisitioned. And I think we need to return with those, and from there go to the kingdom.
Yes.
You guys got here in the afternoon, so you still have some travel left in you guys. However, I believe the sun will set maybe an hour or two prior to you even seeing the shed or the shacks or sign of them. Or is your plan... You do have a lot of people with dark vision, so traveling in the night isn't the worst thing possible, especially in the early night or the early evening when the sun has gone
I
down.
think if it's only going to be an hour or so out, I think that we have significant advantage actually in the dusk. So it might actually behoove us to go slowly here in the afternoon until the first couple of hours of night, and then like use that to our advantage to slip past the heavily armored goons.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have
Go
to go slow
slowly
in the
but
first couple
quietly.
hours anyways because of the dude we're dragging.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to cover our tracks.
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
I'm not much of a woodsman, but I know that much.
Having set fire to the camp and then quickly diverting, you will not run into the party, who obviously will see the smoke coming from their campsite as their tents and supplies burn. You don't even see them. They have obviously rushed either past you, heading back to salvage what they could, or who knows, but you don't see them. After 2 hours, the guy who's like, I think I can walk now if you guys just want to, like, prod me in the back with, like, a sword or something. Like, I can walk now. I'm at 1 hit point mechanically. He tells you all.
Yeah, it's super chill.
You have a rope
That is
you
the
can
meta
reach into,
prisoner.
Like,
Yeah, the meta president. What is he saying? 8 points? You want me to hit him? What?
No, please, don't. This guy will follow you / be led by Felix or encouraged by Andros's mean mug to head on into this shack with you guys. You find the little campsite which you had discovered 2 days ago now. It is, by the time you get here, the 14th of January. The moon is out. It's bright. You see that there is very few clouds in the sky.
Is it like a big pizza pie?
That's amore. You all get a chance to rest from the day's adventure after pushing yourselves some to the furthest extremes you've ever gone.
Indeed.
are we just bringing this guy with us the entire way? Is he coming to the?
Yes. I think we've learned a lesson about taking unwanted baths in the lake. I think this one should come with us
I'm
all
not
the way
saying
to
to kill
town.
him. Was not my. It's just asking.
Look,
LOL
it
looks
was
proud.
big
Sleep with
memes, and I
us.
thought we were having a good time, and then brutality happened, and it's a learning
I'm not
experience.
judging you for it. I'm not judging you for it.
Yeah.
What is this partnership but a non-judgmental, fully
I
open-
appreciate
yeah.
that. I did
Exactly.
feel a little bit like a villain for a while, but as long as Yonsei's on my side, clearly we are ethically in the clear.
So you see why they are debating if they should drown you in the frozen lake. I'm not a fan of it, but they might do it. Just
But they
I
might
give-
not.
Probably
I
not
give
going. I'm
Yonsei a
just-
very disapproving look.
You know,
I
it
didn't
only
say
takes a
to
couple
it.
of inches of water to drown a person. You don't even need a lake
Yeah,
or anything.
that's a terrifying fact. You concern me.
If you
It
give
only
me,
took-
like,
the
a
goblin
bucket, I can
lasted
just
for
stick
3
my
minutes.
head in and just, die, if that's what you're wanting.
Sad.
Why
Yeah.
are you so chill about it?
I'm just here to make your life easier, he states.
I was just saying, if he's
I
spending the night with
appreciate it.
us, we have to set up some sort of watching thing to ensure he doesn't run off into the night and tell his buddies where we are.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That is probably very smart, regardless of whether he stays with us. I am not entirely certain that the armored party is not still out searching for us. I think watches are paramount for us, and then we will return to Livistio, hopefully, unaffected the next
I
day.
did light all of their food on fire, so
In all likelihood, I imagine they spotted the smoke from their camp.
I would hope so. The part of desiring the fire was to disrupt their supplies, but in part I would hope that it would be a distraction, allowing us to most easily return to the city.
Can I make a recommendation, my prince?
By all means.
I believe that we shouldn't have a fire tonight, lest they track the smoke back to our camp.
I think
Indeed.
that's a good idea.
And I'd be more than
I
happy
like
to
lick
set up an
my
alarm.
finger and test the air and go. And I go. All right. Your wisdom is
The princess is sportsmanlike. Look at him.
unquestioned at the moment, Sneferu. I will, of course, abide by your wonderful counsel.
With our body heat alone, we should reach a comfortable temperature in an hour or so.
Are we gonna snuggle Snefru?
I would prefer not to.
Eleva, who sleeps alone, does not like this idea. I don't think the smoke will be very visible in the nighttime. As long as we conceal the light of the fire, we should be safe.
If you want to light something on fire like 100 feet away from us, you're free to do that, Eleva. And you know what? If you don't come back in the morning.
Well, we
it'll
have the
proven
stoves,
Steffi's
but-
theory correct.
We have the stoves, so I'm not worried about the light, just the smoke with the moonlight.
Hold on. Holding. I'm pretty sure I get a winter coat or something with my beginning, right?
Yeah, it's winter time. There's no way they wouldn't give you a coat.
You're a prince. You have a coat.
You're your prince, yeah. You're
But I might have a mechanical winter coat. Hold on.
Ah.
What does a mechanical winter coat do?
It's one.
Well,
with
maybe
little
it'll help
gears on the
Elva
side.
here.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm thinking of a different pack. This one does not have it.
You definitely have winter clothes on. Snowing.
I don't know. I appreciate your concern for warmth. I do think that it is important to heed the counsel of a wise wizard, and we are a bit strapped for I don't know, time and resources at the moment. I would hate to play a dangerous game and lose this close to returning successfully. Perhaps I can offer you instead my own, like blankets and trappings to supplement your warmth.
Evil just doesn't want to hang out with us.
I would not
Wait.
have you do without a cloak here.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm sure Yonsei will be down to cuddle.
Always down to cuddle.
Wow.
That's what I'm here for, baby. Alright?
Like, Eleva like looks back and forth between Yonsei again like a couple of times, like, if that is your wish, Your Highness, I will not deny your
You're free to join
generous
your cuddles,
offer.
Evil. Like, just don't touch me.
I give Eleva like my like winter blankets and like bedroll and stuff to like help get the double comforter going.
I will be taking some of that. I am not taking your entire bedroll.
You take
You
his
need something
entire
to sleep
bedroll,
on.
forced to by the prince, who promises there's room to spare in Yonsei's.
Holding you at gunpoint. Like, take it.
After
we
an
do like
awkward,
the group.
the prisoner will be like,
Awkward
"Can I
for
get a
everyone
winter
but
blanket
Yonsei."
too? Come on, man."
No, feel sad about your choices in the corner
Yeah.
somewhere.
You don't even know the choices I
hang on,
lived
what's
a
your
life
name?
before
I
I met
can't
you
insult you.
fuckers. Come on.
What's your name?
Don
Be
makes
nice.
a random character name.
I don't
You
think
should
you're
be
supposed
prepared
to
for
name
Yonsei to
them,
want to
right?
know
When you
everyone's name.
name the chicken, it makes it all the harder when you
Oh,
must. lead
come
it to the
on,
slaughter.
man.
No, but I feel like that makes it more personal, though. You know, you can say goodbye properly.
We can call him Chicken. That's a neat name.
Is your name Chicken?
My name is hold 1 second.
It is Shikon.
Chicon.
Chicon! Yes! Hang on. I'm looking
I wasn't
for
trying to
Dutch
mock you,
names.
James.
I don't know if you guys remember the Dutch joke I had during the opening. It's gonna be Dutch.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
My name is... 1 second. It's loading. My internet is really bad because I'm streaming right now.
Loading is a strange name. What region are you from?
My name is Remco.
Remco? Alright, Remy.
Remco?
Yeah, you can call me Remy.
Listen, Remy.
That's what my
You don't get a
wife
choice
called
in
me
this.
before she died of a plague.
That makes it worse. Alright, can I call you Rem then? I don't.
No, that's what my nephew called me before he also died of a plague.
Jesus. You related to goblins or something?
No,
Ouch.
no.
Do you have the plague?
No, Remy, these
might
are
have
rhetorical
the
questions.
plague.
You don't have to answer them.
You know from a region that
I was gonna ask you your opinion on flags and banners, but you know what? I don't think I care anymore.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, just to make sure we're not introducing the plague to our city, can I do a quick medical examination?
Yeah, go for it. Give me a medicine check. Are you proficient in medicine?
I am proficient in medicine.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, this guy
22.
doesn't have a plague. What? There's no way. And also,
Sounds
if he
like all
did, you
cuddled up
wouldn't.
now.
Everyone in this party would already be infected. You've been hanging out in close proximity with him for like 4 hours.
Prince, killed by plague. That's what you get for
Sim-
hanging out with the common folk.
Since we have a cold camp, can Snefru use prestidigitation to heat up a pot of tea for everyone before watches are
assume
set?
So. That is one of the
I like
effects
that.
you can do of prestidigitation, correct?
That's
Mm-hmm.
useful.
Then yeah. You warm up
Snapper
a...
is thinking with portals.
Using telepathy and minor arcane tricks, you are able to warm up a small cast iron kettle and fill it with random herbs local to this region to create a tea substitute.
Perfect. Just, I mean, if you're gonna have a cold camp, you want something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, not to spoil the thought of you guys being hunted through the woods for several days, we are going to fast forward a little bit in time as we return to the castle. However, we're going to do that on the other side of our break, which we're going to take right now. And hopefully, as we go to the castle for the first time, we will meet a new friend there as well.
Beyonce's mom.
Spoiling the surprise.
I love spoil. We don't know who it is. Come on, Greg. We'll be right back, everyone. See you here in a bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the retinue. Red, also known as Dysum.
Dysum.
Dysum? Geisum?
Dysum.
Dyson sphere?
Dysum.
Hello.
Dysum.
Red, I would like
Hi.
to personally greet you and thank you for joining us during this session. You have been off-screen, watching, observing the retinue. But now, as we jump back into character, we are going to have you explain what they see of you as you stand outside of a castle gate, essentially arguing with a priest. What is it that they
Well, of
see?
course.
Who is it that they see?
They would see a fairly tall, black-scaled dragonborn who is wearing a cloak of seaweed, arguing with this gentleman who's very clearly not being very kind to me. And he's a very abnormal-looking dragonborn. He doesn't look like his face is at all the way it should be,
What does that
with
mean?
an extra set of eyes laying near the center of his face.
A four-eyed, black-scaled dragonborn with a cloak of seaweed stands before you all, arguing with the familiar face of Brog Varsh, the current head cleric, I suppose, or the conduit for the High Druid of the Bear Mother, who protects Livistio with their divine patronage. Glynis, you come across the bridge over the moat/short river that protects your family's castle, prisoner in tow, Felix behind him as he, apparently still armed and armored. I suppose you would have taken off his short sword and sword, or chainmail, at some point during his captivity.
Of course.
As you come across the scene, they are arguing of like, I'm sorry, but I can't grant you entry just yet, my lord. I have not been given the proper... Or you're not even a lord, are you? Traveler? The High Druid has yet to confirm whether or not you are truly who you say.
I think,
We just lost someone.
oh, down goes Diggy.
Diggy went into the war room, so wants to grab her.
I got her.
I
Diggy,
will,
welcome back.
not
That
be
was
doing any
perfectly
grabbing.
Sorry about Couldn't have had, like 5 minutes.
Not during the break, no.
So as I approach the scene, I think that I turn to my bodyguard, my flag bearer, my herald, and I say, Andros, please announce the return of Prince Glynis. It seems the gate is unaware.
Andros quickly steps up and, with a cough, right in the back of your tentacled neck, Dysum. Andros bellows in your ear behind you. They're like, make way for the prince! What do you do, Dysum?
Lesum's very clearly startled because I was talking to this gentleman in front of me, and then out of nowhere, there's now a large group of people who's just appeared behind me. But I will step out of the way while still glaring at this man I was arguing with.
Yeah, you step on out of the way. Prince, there is a guest standing upon your doorway who is seemingly not being allowed entry. Is this par and practice for you and your family? Like, what's going on here? Are you interested? Are you concerned?
You tell me, is it standard practice? I don't know the customs of your city.
Letting you
watch here.
decide. Describe to me your family.
In that case, I think that I will approach, having been announced, And I greet. Can you remind me the person's real name and title that we affectionately call the Bog Boy?
The Bog Boy, also known as Priest Brog Varsh, is the appointee
Priest Brog.
for the High Druid, a nameless person who is said to be several hundred years old, who lives somewhere out in the woods and periodically sends clerics of the Bear Mother to deal with you civilized royals, while he is out gallivanting in the woods half naked most of the time as a weird
Is this
bear
Boggy?
man.
Or is it Boggy?
This is
or-
Boggy. Yes, completely shaven of head, tanned of skin. He stares at you with these dark brown eyes that remind you very much of a swamp.
I guess I walk forward, having been announced, and I look to Priest Brogdevarsh, and I say, Anointed One, I have returned victorious, with camp supplies in hand, and a prisoner, and news dire. And yet, there's conflict before I even enter the city. Please, what is this commotion about?
My apologies, my lord. And he gives a polite bow and presentation, his speech very much like a swamp, slow and drowning you in boredom. This gentleman, this outsider, has come from distant lands seeking to set up a settlement here, and is... my job demands, I must test him to ensure that he is of sound heart and not demonically influenced or cursed by the evil one known as Tiamat.
I see.
It took like 20 seconds too long, Boggy, I gotta say.
The Anointed One must take his time. His words ring with power. Priest, you'd say he wishes to take up settlement here. I turn, probably taking in the four-eyed dragonborn in front of me for the first time. And I look and I say, huh. What does it mean, settlement, in my kingdom?
Is this a question for Bogman or?
I think I have addressed the Bogman, but I have turned to Stary, as I said.
He means you, lizard boy.
I'm not a lizard boy. I'm a lizard man.
Ooh, like him.
It was sass. Oh my god, ballsy! You see
I
that?
like him.
I am Dyson. I'm not from around here. I'm quite far from my homeland, and I wish to settle here.
Where is your homeland?
I am a cleric.
I see.
I
He
heal
hesitated.
wounds.
A cleric from...
Where I come from has no name.
Not even like a nickname or like a really long name in your language that like we can't say.
Fascinating. Uncharted
No name.
territory.
No names. No people.
No people.
You can see why it might be hard to give him certification, Your Highness.
Yeah. Is there like a nearby place that you can like call yours?
I think I look to Priest Brogdevarsh, and I look at these four gleaming eyes and the scales, and say, Anointed One, I am prone to collecting beautiful things. Perhaps I shall be the one to vet this. Allow him to travel with my retinue, and should he fall short of expectations, then he shall be dealt with. But we shall use the time to vet him and bring him into the fold should he succeed.
Beyonce's gonna like turn to Ballsy and be like, did he just like call us pretty or ugly? I can't tell.
I think you called him Brady. I'm not sure.
I don't know either. I don't know what's going on.
As you request, my lord, but you will be responsible for his actions, as well as his behavior. He is an outsider to our land.
I understand. And know that the watchful eye of the prince will be upon him. And I say that, like, not at Brogdevarsh, but, like, staring at our new companion, Dysel.
As you say.
Well, I will do
Bog,
my best.
the Bog Boy, glancing at a fellow cleric, will essentially give you the stink eye, like the stink from a swamp, if you will. Oh, I make myself laugh way too much. Anyway.
I can smell your gaze from here, Brogdevarsh.
Truly. I am a stinky man. He says as he turns to the guards who whistle up to the guy above to begin opening the gate for the arrival of the prince, who Andros will quickly brush past to announce to quite literally everyone in your path. Here comes the Prince Glynis Marchette, first of his name, first in line to the air, crown prince, just to everyone.
Perfect.
Beyonce like
Well
plays
done,
a little
John.
tune, you know.
Do you guys take your prisoners straight to the dungeon, or, well, what's the play?
I suppose that there is, like, a standard operating procedure for prisoners, right? Like, there's a guardsman or, like, a watchman or some city official that would be in charge of that, and I think we take him to that said person to be taken prisoner, and then, like, we can return to him as need be for interrogation or whatnot.
Understood. You will call out to one of the royal knights who stands guard, and shout at this man, take this man to the dungeons. The guy, the prisoner will be like, whoa, dungeons! I hope there's free room service. He is taking this...
Treat him fairly. He did show cooperation.
The knight just nods in the plate helm, which, to him, fairly, is like signal for, like, let's beat him into unconsciousness the moment we throw him into a cage. Which,
Okay, I tried.
Barely understood.
A noble gesture.
Although my dynamic lighting is disabled, there are multiple ways into the dungeon, this being one of them over here, within this great big tower that leads around the curtain wall to this castle. I suppose I should give you all the grand tour for a moment, while the dynamic lighting is disabled. Essentially, these are the retinue's private domicile/exterior huts. There are 5 rooms for you guys. Glynis, of course, sleeps in the keep itself on the 2nd floor, which he has essentially all to himself, for the most part. For his parents, the queen and king live in a separate section on the 2nd floor as well. Technically, this was Andros's house, and I suppose he will still sort of live there. As he must regretfully admit his shame to the king and withdraw himself from your service, Glynis. And although I wish, I could play that scene out, I don't know if I could do Seth justice for his character.
That is fair.
Let me go ahead and delete this man. Delete this guy. There we go. I would like to bring you all... Goodbye, Andros. You will live forever in this house. As Andros waves goodbye to you all, regretfully bowing and wishing you luck, Glynis, for he can no longer travel with you with good heart and... well, he was not a man of many words, but you did earn his respect, and now you are a personal shame onto his character forever for him failing to protect you. You head up to the keep, where you will find an elven butler standing perfectly still in front of a royal guard with his back to that guard, who stands by this gate that leads deeper into the keep. This elven butler with great big long ears that stretch out for maybe 6 inches past his cranium will greet you with a bow as well. You recognize this elf as Smiling Sam, the Minister of Agriculture's family butler or manservant. Man-space servant.
Mr. Sam, I did not expect to see you out here awaiting our return.
He greets you with a wirely voice. Your sighting was talked about in town, parading a prisoner, a bandit, the thief, I assume?
Indeed. We have much to report to the court.
I see.
Doesn't answer
Is
the
there
question,
a reason you're awaiting us, good sir? Is there some task from the minister that I can assist with?
No, I was told to greet you at the gate in case your bannerman had to suddenly depart so that I could introduce you to the court. After all...
well, I do seem to be missing one bannerman.
Why is that your job, though?
Because I am the most loyal man-servant ever to have existed.
Is that a manly thing to be?
Yes.
It's in the name.
You know what? I guess you're right.
By definition, I am a servant of man.
Is that a good position? Do you like it?
Is there any name or title you would like me to call you as I scream to the court?
Gilly the Glorious?
No. I am simply Crown Prince Glynis. Marshad.
Crown Prince Glynis, understood. He eyes your new dragonborn companion for a moment. You I don't remember. What is your name?
Worry about him not. He will be joining us in silence until further notice.
Okay. He immediately disregards this stranger to the court entirely. Walks straight past the guards.
Was that just me? Was that... really judgmental,
I'll lean to
okay.
Daisem, just... Don't worry about it, man. It is gonna be alright. Don't worry.
I'm used to it.
Oh, you too? Oh, okay. Just the Dragonborn and the Tiefling just... Oh, yeah, okay. Bounding over racism.
The doors open. Door opens. And shouting top of his lungs, completely not giving a single flying fuck about proper decorum. No heraldry expert here, but loyal manservant to the end. The Smiling Sam, the elven manservant, will cry out, "Oh, stand for the glorious Gilly, Crown Prince Marshett!" Having completely forgotten your request and blurred the two requests of the Chester that he barely paid attention to, as well as yours. He will then quickly step aside next to this column here and allow the party to enter. The queen is not here. She is on the
Doing
GM
great, Sam.
layer. Which means you are being pursuing. You see the court in all of its splendor off screen for the viewers at home. As soon as you step beyond the corner, Gilly, you will see that Baron Bryce Bronson, the Minister of Agriculture, is right beside you, greeting you. It's like, oh, Your Highness, I greet you.
I give him an appropriate, greeting. Like, I'm trying not to be, outwardly rude to him, but I don't offer any further, dialogue or, familiarity with him. Like, in my brain, in my heart, this man is of some amount of suspicion, although I am not, bringing that to attention, but I'm not, engaging with him, warmly.
Of course. Starting from left to right, you will see the clown or court jester, Master or Mr. Johan, which Yonsei is very familiar with, followed by Uncle Gunnar, Judge Superior Mayrel Weimark, your father, the king, who looks somewhat stunned that you are here, sporting blade in hand or, in sheath. So soon.
Yeah, I walk into the court, blade drawn, the
Yeah,
princess come!
Your Arthas here to take your crown. Followed by Lord Killigan Pharos over here. This great big burly but muscular and very live river orc. Then the Lord Minister of Finance, Ravel, Lodramar, Ravel. And then the court alchemist whose name is Azel or Monty or something silly like that, who is not a lord nor wants to be one. You have caught them in the middle of the day while your king is holding council here. And he...
I guess I approach the floor having had my name screamed out and the court surprised. It's probably on my initiative to say why we're here. Say, I apologize for the brusque manner in which we were brought into the court. I was hoping to disturb you less, but I return with tales of success, but also of concern for the kingdom. And I thought it best to come to court immediately to regale you of the situation just beyond our borders. The camp supplies that we were attempting to recover have been recovered, mostly in their entirety, but it seems that the monstrous creatures were roused intentionally by humankind. We found this, and I produce a note written in someone's hand detailing the prevention of the establishment of a new settlement of our kingdom, the rousing of monsters, and the just general orders that were given to the people. It seems bandits intentionally have come to our land and have attempted to disrupt the doings of Livistio. I believe this is a matter urgent enough that the court itself must take it up and determine the best course of action. And I just step back and await the court's response.
You step
What
back.
is going on?
Go for it.
Is there anyone who was not surprised by this news from their faces and reactions?
Give me an insight check as you study the faces of the court around you.
I have a hunch about what I'm going to roll because we've been rolling too good this session.
Can I roll? Can I give you guidance?
Oh, did it?
So guidance is an
except-
actual spell that would
Is
be
my
like...
internet dying?
Is your internet dying, or is mine?
You start
Hello?
casting magic in the court.
I think that
my internet
that would
die?
be a very poor decision from our
Okay, I won't do it.
companion in the middle of the court.
Diggy's internet is, in fact, collapsing in on itself. I don't know if she can...
I am back. I have returned.
Okay.
She rolled medicine, insight. Oh,
I rolled insight.
got it.
Perfect. So Red hasn't heard my little diatribe on guidance yet, so I'm going to give it to him real quick.
Got it.
So guidance is an action and thus requires verbal and somatic spell components to cast. In this situation, one, it would be super obvious that you're casting a spell to enhance them while doing this, but it's also like a instant use kind of thing. It doesn't like last for the full minute. So once the check occurs is when the guidance will like spring up well inside them and Kriya! They leap grand distances. So it would work in this case if you did guidance them as they're like checking people and making
probably
snap
not a
judgment calls. But if this was
good
like a
idea to use it
10-minute
right now.
investigation, I'm so sorry, I need to get through this diatribe. If it was like a 10-minute investigation, guidance would kind of fizzle out somewhere during that investigation. Just so that you know that in the future.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, cool. You had a question, though.
You already answered it.
Oh, perfect. As you begin casting the spells, a couple people's hands, maybe even the court wizard, will be like, no, slapping you as you're like beginning to like help them out. With a 14 on the insight, which I believe you rolled for, so 14, you will... Where are you, Aluva? You're like the back of the pack. You're looking for anyone who is not surprised by the knowledge that monsters are invading. You see that Johan is already preparing some kind of joke that he's just like ready to like go in on. And like that is a massive distraction, not because it's like unexpected, but that he doesn't give a single flying fuck at all and is just trying to search for the quickest punchline to make fun of this later.
Beyonce's really excited.
I suppose since you're right next to Bryce Bronson as well, who your prince has, not levied, but maybe has, like, signaled with body language that he doesn't truly trust this character. You see that Bryce Bronson is, like, cool as a cadaver right now. He's like, oh, of course, this makes perfect sense. As Glynis gives off news. The final person that you see is the huffing and puffing Uncle Gunner, who is the apparently spy master-esque person for the king, and he sort of just approaches you, approaches you, Crown Prince Glynis, and asks to see the note, without even...
I hand it to him.
He immediately inspects it, looks up to the king and says, I will analyze this immediately for handwriting and other sorts of dialect, Your Highness. And the king gives a slow nod, having not even said a single word yet. And as faces turn to the king,
Like an awkward silence.
a very awkward silence follows. A awkward silence that Glynis is undoubtedly very familiar with, as his father lags behind, doesn't make an immediate proclamation or decision, and instead does what he does best, which is divert course entirely, and says, Son, welcome home, first of all. It's good to see that you're
Thank you,
filled
Father.
with energy and vim and vigor. My friends, why don't we take a 10-minute recess while I speak with my son? And the court awkwardly looks at each other.
We also have to go, Glenny.
I'm sorry, Yonsei.
This is like
What
a
did you say?
father-son conversation.
Yes, I presume that we will have one soon. Keep a good eye on the new one.
King Gilmori stands up from his little throne or chair, his fancy chair, and will point to the parlor/side room right over here, where he will have a quiet one-on-one conversation with you. But while that is happening, we are going to stay focused on the party. For although you have not been officially dismissed, party now would be kind of a good opportunity to split up if you so desire to. Obviously, you have a new member amongst your crew, untested and unfamiliar, but apparently a cleric, which is fairly rare in the world. Clerics are highly sought creatures. So my question to the retinue is, what are you all doing as the king awkwardly kidnaps your friend and boss and cousin and stranger you just met literally 15 seconds ago?
From across the room, Yonsei immediately yells, Johan!
Your mic peaked.
Johan!
Yonsei! Johan cartwheels over to you. Are you...
Yeah, Yonsei's just fucking around with Johan. Yonsei's not of any help.
Okay, dead center of the room.
Tries to like slip into cream pie, but it gets like Uno reversed, and like Yonsei ends up getting pranked. Yeah, next time.
Next time.
What
He
is
goes for
my
the high
character's
five.
relationship with the spy master?
I'm sorry?
What is my character's relationship with the like actual king spy master?
Probably none at all. He is incredibly elusive, is not training you, and honestly has a lot of suspicion directed towards you and the entire party you came in to their country with.
Yeah, probably best to just leave him to his own devices.
Yeah, he quite
In
literally
that case-
just abandons post during the recess and leaves entirely.
Yeah, I'm not gonna follow him. I will go to the Ministry of Agriculture because I have some words to throw and not hands to throw, only words.
Start beating up the Minister of Agriculture in the middle of the court.
Yeah, Bryce Bronson is a portly man. He is quite one of the fattest, only lighter in scale than the king in terms of girth and fat, which I suppose is the guy who is quite literally all about ensuring there is food production in your in this country. You know, he samples the menu, as it were, quite often. He's like, hello, Edluva, correct?
You know my name well. Is there a reason you sent the butler by the gate?
Yes, to let you all inside. I had a sneaking suspicion Sir Andros would not be able to fulfill his task.
Did you have no more skillful servants to send?
My lady, he is by far the most skilled elven servant in the entire world.
Elven servant.
Ooh.
Why'd you get the prince's name wrong then, huh?
Sorry, are you speaking to me, clown?
Damn, that would hurt if it wasn't true.
I have no
Anyway.
doubt as to his loyalty. I am asking after his skill.
He's quite
Perhaps
skillful.
Non-elven servants? And my question to you as a GM is
No, it
this
was
man
awful. It was so
genuinely in belief? Does this man genuinely believe that his servant is skillful, or Is he lying to my face?
If so, there are two opportunities, and I don't want you to incite this. I want you to come up with your own decision of whether he knowingly sends an inept servant to herald in the crown prince, or this servant is several hundred years old and is clearly fucking around as an elf, and he finds it incredibly funny, or truly believes that. You know, maybe that's just how they do it in the Elven Empire. They just shout out a mishmash of names and platitudes and then, back off.
Well, I think my character would probably assume malicious intentions. So I just stare directly into this person's eyes. I want you to know that your slight on the prince's honor was noted and noticed.
A slight? I would never
Elva will
slight
remember
the
this.
crown prince.
Certainly not. And I just walk away. Elva will remember this.
Okay.
This is typically the situation where I will be sent to fight another man to defend the honor of another man that Eluva offended in the name of a prince. You are not making my job easier.
It would be really funny if Felix had to go fight Bronson's champion because Elva pissed him off.
He has to fight the butler.
If that's what my
Take it-
lord requests,
Damn
and the butler begins unbuttoning his shirt to mud wrestle you, Felix.
He's like superstar, just oh.
Just like, oh no. Not smiling Sam, he has a steel chair.
He's a level 10 monk, what the fuck?
What is Snefru doing as he looks at his new cleric friend slash, you know, spellcaster, fellow spellcaster?
Snefru is very suspicious, not because he's a four-eyed like Dragonborn, but just because he's a cleric. And there's been historical precedent to be suspicious of a cleric.
The inferior magic users.
No, not at all. Divine magic has its many uses. That's why clerics are so rare. Oh, sorry. That's why clerics are so rare. But it's very suspicious that I know quite a bit about religion. And I don't recognize. I have to talk to him. I have to see what. He could be a threat to the prince. Mayhaps.
A threat with those tentacles.
Or
He
a
uses
great
them.
asset.
A great
It's yet
asset
to
with
be-
those tentacles.
It's yet to be seen. We're not extremely far from the ocean, but we're not close either.
I think we're landlocked.
We have a river.
We're like quite literally an island.
Oh, not Livistio itself. The continent that we are on is an island. Right?
The castle town is in an island in the middle of a great river.
Oh god. Yonsei is like, he's like, I've never seen a map before. I didn't know this.
I would say the thing that really is
Just a moat.
triggering Snefru is the four eyes. I don't think he's ever heard of an example like that, except for some arcane mishap.
There was a guy wearing glasses once that I called Four Eyes and he cried.
Would Snefru like to take Dizem to a parlor or a
His
place
quarters?
to question him?
Interrogate him.
Well, if the prince is assuming responsibility for him, Snefru will assume he'll have to stay in the retinue's quarters, and he'll go. He would happily show him quarters.
Don't
Oh,
go
yeah.
in my room. Just saying. Not for any specific reason.
So a little 3-something foot humanoid with a huge hat walks up to Dysum, stares up at this really large scaled individual. Okay, you with me. Don't make me use this. And he uses his wand.
I'm watching you. Come on, I'll show you where you sleep.
Why, of course. And your name is...
Oh, me? I'm Snefru. Nice. And he reaches up to shake your hand, but it's kind of awkward.
Ah, Snefru. Well, I'm Dizem, and I'll very gladly bend over to shake your hand.
Nice to meet you. He's staring at your eyes, trying to
Which
see
ones?
if he's trying to see if they're all working, or if they're you know, some people have like an extra finger, but it doesn't really do anything. He's trying to see if your eyes are all functioning.
Are you being like very obvious that you're just staring at my
Incredibly obvious.
eyes? Is it my eyes that bother you?
It's fascinating. Do they all work? And he'll like light up the tip of his wand and like go back and forth.
Can you read this chart for me?
If you're asking
Alright.
if they're functional, in ways.
Fascinating. We should discuss this later. But come, I'm sure you're tired from your journey from wherever you hail from.
Well, I'll follow you, good sir.
And Snefru would show him to the huts.
You show him to the little domiciles, huts, barracks, one could even call them. Well, I guess it's not a real barracks. But you head over here and show him a room. I'm not going to have anyone claim a room unless they want to call one their own, in which case use a little writing tool to go ahead and declare that for you. This place is all theater of the mind, essentially, with a great big... I've just been moving it for the viewers at home, honestly, just so that they can view it. Please explore this map to your heart's content. Imagine it is a 1-for-1 scale, or, you know, is accurate in terms of measurements. Am I missing anyone? I think I'm missing Felix. Felix, what are you doing as, like, you look at Eliva almost insulting a baron who, you know, on behalf of the crown prince, you are insinuating that, like, you may have to throw down with an elvish manservant.
I'll get my sword.
Real men, I am told, talk with their fists.
I'm just leaning on the pillar and just watching Elva just walk away and just be like, okay. Well, if I am not required here anymore, I will sleep in something more comfortable. If you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I'll just go to my quarters and change.
Yeah, you change. Part of me wants to ask, like, you to describe to me your casual wear, but I don't think we're gonna get that deep into it.
Just being very casual, coat attire, just a tunic, a belt, long
Okay.
pants.
Felix
Color
depart
advance.
to
Tight.
probably.
Red, of course.
I'm sorry. Go for it.
But I was just saying because Jansen was asking about the color, and I was just saying red, of course.
Oh, of course. You head to your private quarters, where you will change and begin to long rest and process the combats you have taken part in. Not as a single duelist, but as a fighter, a part of a crew, or a combat party. Oh, God. You drew them. Okay.
Yeah, I just figured out how it works. Yeah.
You're great. It seems like Eluva as well as Yonsei are choosing to stay behind in the court to overview any sort of decision-making process, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It'd be that or following along the Spy Master, and I think the second is a bad idea.
Likely a bad idea. So we are going to jump back to the prince, who is now having an awkward sit down with his father as his private knight. Excuse me. Sir Matthias Morrison stares kind of awkwardly in his gilded plate. Just, being a guard, a fly on the wall, making sure you're not about to lunge for your father for some reason. King Gilmori Marchette, this portly fellow who is quite fat, quite joyful, almost like a Santa Claus whose beard hasn't grown out yet nor grayed. Has a seat with a big oof in the little stool-sized or shaped chair as you sit on a lounge, or maybe you stand. How do you speak casually with your father, Gillis?
I don't think that I stand. I think if this were a more formal setting, I may stand, but I think seeing that we are sequestered in like a parlor together, I think I do. I think I sit. I don't even think I register that the knight is here. He's always attached to the king. His sister runs around in like half the armor he does, trying to chase down the queen all the time. They're part of the castle. So like I think I don't lounge, right? I'm not like big chillin', but I think I sit down, and I think that Glynis is patient with his father. He knows his father is a like person who chooses their words carefully and thinks about what they're gonna say. So I think Glynis just allows him to get to get through whatever is bouncing around his brain, waiting for his father to like come up with the words that are gonna start this off.
He leaves you hanging for a moment before he starts off this plotting conversation with another full-blown tangent of, "My son, how old are you this year?"
I forgot what the backstory says. 21, right? 22.
22.
Thank you, Snefru.
We're the same age.
Perfect.
Cousins.
22 years. Oof. You are 2 years older than when I was, when I first became king. Tell me, what was it like, your first taste of command?
Frankly, cold. The weather was quite interesting. It threatened a blizzard on us, but it felt natural. I took with me only the best and the brightest of those that I trusted, and we succeeded in all of our tasks. We were able to successfully track down the missing shipments. We were able to identify a threat to the kingdom. We've at least diminished it and has brought it to attention of the court. I am happy with this this first expedition.
I am glad you came back safe and uninjured, my son.
Mm-hmm. Uninjured.
His eye goes to you. Picking up on that. Yes?
Totally unharmed. Everything's totally bueno.
The most unharmed.
The most unharmed.
Was it a victory that I will be able to brag about, or have my jester brag about, come the spring festival, or the end of winter
Indeed.
festival?
We felled a giant 10-foot tall hobgoblin leading a tribe of goblins that were turning your metal scraps from the camp into makeshift weapons, spurred on by these men from perhaps a foreign land. We tracked them down, found their encampment, set a siege to it, turned it ablaze. They will definitely be lacking in resources for at least a moment. Recovered their plot. I would say this is most definitely a successful encounter.
I'm glad to hear that you had such a success. Though I will ask you to keep the encampment of strangers for now a secret. Do not tell
As
the
you
clown.
wish.
Uncle Gunnar will do his own investigation and send woodsmen or rogues out to investigate on our behalf. Tell me, what did you think of your rogue that went with you, the skulker in the shadows that came with the Beltion people? Or Bay Pond people?
The Lady
whatever
Elva
they're
is quick-witted. She is not always as stealthy as perhaps I would have preferred, but they are providing good counsel at every turn. She helped make sure the encounter with the bandits went smoothly, and made sure that there was no great goblin purge. The advice that she gives, her mind is a weapon in and of itself. I believe she is quite useful.
You trust them?
Yes, I do.
Good. What of the gnome, the spellcaster, the court-appointed wizard from Brimland?
I see in him a lack of confidence at times, nervousness perhaps, but once pressed into action, a most capable spellcaster. He managed to find us the voices of goblins. He divined out of the air their meanings and led us away from a ambush and onto a correct path. He's shown capability in combat, although it is not his finest hour yet. I believe if we can grow his confidence, grow his self-worth, he could be a great wizard and a great asset to the country.
Yes. But you must remember that no wizard holds any allegiance to a country, especially those of the Brimmed Order. They are using us just as we use them. Do not confuse
course.
that transaction for friendship. Your champion,
I understand, Father.
the tiefling commoner, what of him? Was he as useful as he was? Well,
He
here in
performed
the port?
admirably, Your Highness. His swordplay was second to none, even out-dueling Sir Andros himself. It would be impossible to have brought a prisoner to interrogate back without his magnificent dueling.
I see. There's a clear moment that he was about to say a doubt or say something to put a seed of doubt into you, but he thinks better of it. And even though he clearly telegraphs that motion of like, I am biting back my words here, he will let out a cough, as John does, and then move on.
The spaghetti's getting to me, son.
I can only assume that your very distant cousin on your mother's side was put into
Oof.
their place and not...
That's a real thing.
You did not know?
I thought Yancey was just having a laugh.
No, they are definitely related to you, but I hope you told them that they were not in the line of succession at all.
To be honest, Father, I thought that a joke. I didn't give it any credence at all, but it seems I should probably take that a little more seriously.
Just a little bit, son. There has been some cases of confusion, as you are the next in line, followed by your newborn sister, followed by no one else. And the fact that they are claiming that they are 36th in line is bringing some confusion to some of the lower nobles who are ignorant of our royal lineage, which I regretfully have to continuously inform people is essentially relying on you. I don't think I have it in me
I think
for
that
another child.
Glynis finds this uproariously funny, actually, and probably doesn't intend to stop her from, or stop Yancey from, like, spreading rumors, but maybe he's gonna tell Yancey to, like, change the number every so often, so that, like, the number just is always different when the king gets asked about it. But he doesn't say this, he just, like, smiles, maybe like has a momentary chuckle and says, "Of course, Father, I will take this
Just for you guys
matter
to know,
seriously."
Yancey's already done that. I don't think anyone realized, but I have already changed the numbers 3 times.
It's still within the 30 range, though, yeah?
We're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
more. We're gonna go more. We're
70 seconds.
bigger
69.
swing.
69.
Yeah.
4th, actually.
I see. Then I must ask you, son. Did we send a dragonborn with you, or did you just find one in the wild?
That is a cleric. One of desires to immigrate to our country.
Say no more. I understand now.
Good.
Clerics are, yes, very rare. Especially ones that aren't busy worshipping bears nude in the forest, getting mauled by bears in the forest, yes.
Indeed.
Then, what are your plans for the imminent future? I'm sure I need not remind you that the 2nd of February we are having a party, a get-together to celebrate the first year of life for your sister, as well as her minor debut to the court, or introduction.
I believe that it is my duty to this house and to the kingdom to remind the common folk of the glory of our house. While you are successfully navigating us through politics and peacetime, it is my job to remind them of the might of the Marshad Lion. I cannot do so yet, but I am mastering my mind and body. I will master Grandfather's Blade. And I will settle what needs to be settled with might in our kingdom. This is my ambition, Father. And I believe, with the help of my retinue, and perhaps a little bit of campaigning, we are well on our way to doing just that.
Give me an insight check
Sure.
as you
Intense eye
stare
contact going on.
at your father, whose eyes have somewhat glazed.
I know I
over.
totally just, like, slightly insulted him. But I like, that was somewhat, like, intentional.
Yeah. Still want to see it, though. Show me your dice. Oh, 16.
Show me your moves.
In the glazed over look of your father, who is giving you almost like a 1,000-yard stare as you speak of ambition and the might of the Marchette dynasty, you sense a very, almost visceral pity that lingers for a long moment after you finish speaking and give your thought-out father time to formulate his next sentence, which soon comes. You revere your grandfather, which is good. You should revere your ancestors, as I do. But you should aim to be better than they were. You should always aim to be better than those that came before you, myself included. And should you accomplish that, I would be no prouder. There are regrets I've had in your raising and my lack of presence in that. If you were to listen to my advice, before you go out adventuring, like your grandfather, I would suggest you consider securing your lineage before risking your life. It is one thing to have a little sister and queen to the throne, but should you die while gallivanting, and I, in my 50s or 60s or however long you travel, die in between, you will want a child to take on your name. Have you considered marriage,
Perhaps.
son?
I have not considered these things to now. Perhaps it is time to consider them. Campaigning can be expensive. Perhaps this is a way to fundraise for it. But I am not ready to rush into such a decision in the moment.
I understand.
Perhaps over this party we will be able to discuss it further.
I would like to introduce you to some people in the future. Is that something you are interested in participating?
I'm always interested in meeting new people, Father. You know this.
I understand. Then why don't we leave it there for now? And I will speak with the court about your discoveries when Uncle Gunnar gets back. Would you like to stay and listen in on tax reformation and party funding?
I think I would, yes. Like, I want to excuse myself and go, like, debrief my, like, new cleric, but I think, given the opportunity to sit in on the court, I think Glynis, like, is obligated to accept. Is like, yes, actually, let's learn some king making. So maybe there's, like, a moment of hesitation there, but Glynis is like, yes, Father, I would very much appreciate the opportunity to sit in.
Then let's go. And he awkwardly shuffles to his feet, at one point needing help of a table to properly stand, and rotundly walks out to his throne. Moving a total, I want to say, yes, a total of 100 feet, and having 3 conversations, essentially, and being entirely out of breath. My god, is your father out of shape, dude. We will fade out on that scene and then jump to a new one featuring you all assembled somewhere in this castle. Where is, like, your retinue's meeting ground? That is, like, a neutral space that all of you can sort of cohabitate. Is it, like, in someone's room as, like, a meeting spot or a more clandestine thing? Do you meet in the dungeon because it's spooky and atmospheric? Are you just out in the
I feel
sun?
like it's gotta be the tavern, right? What good D&D campaign doesn't meet at, like, the equivalent of the tavern?
We take over the kitchen.
Yeah, you can knock over the kitchen and just start drinking ales and wines and whatnot.
I mean, it calls for
Absolutely.
celebration.
Terrorizing the
On one
kitchen
hand-
staff.
On one hand, I feel like we should have someplace kind of private. On the other hand, I love this idea. Let's go for it.
Well, this would be like a practice thing. So, Dizem, you are like suddenly like grabbed as the prince ducks his head in and signals like it's time to go to the meeting spot. And Dizem, you like go through this well-stocked kitchen and larder, and oh my god, there's so much food. Food is everywhere, and people are just like starting to snack on like dried and smoked meats. Oh my god, there's so much venison, dude. You're looking around. These people live with great big stomachs.
This is a weird place.
Jan's like dancing on the table.
Grab the cheese.
A gnome wants to feed you cheese,
All right.
Dizem. What do you do?
Do you accept the cheese?
I think in my life, I've only eaten, for the most part, fish.
What's a fish? Kidding.
Oh my god, we find out he's lactose intolerant right now.
Oh my god.
Roll for
Never
had a
lactose
cheese?
intolerance. Give me a con
What about
save.
bear cheese? You ever had bear
Don't
cheese?
make me do this. Don't make me roll for lactose
Listen, Dizzy.
intolerance.
In this country, we eat bear cheese. We eat bear meat.
Goat
All
cheese.
right, and we drink
Bell
bear.
cheese?
Wait, who
Only
is
bear.
milking a
Let me make
bear?
lactose tolerance check.
Right?
Probably
Bear
the
brewer
brewer's
is a
right.
very important job.
Yeah. I'm
Bear
lactose
cheese
tolerant. That was
exists.
my lactose tolerance check. As a foreign.
What was the deciding number there?
Even-
Single digits. That was the deciding number.
Alright. You know, a 10% chance isn't that bad. Party. You invade this little room here to celebrate your success. And while you are celebrating, I'm going to begin calculating experience for the past 2 sessions that unfortunately Dizem will be missing out on. But maybe will boost up some of your characters This will undoubtedly lead into long rest mechanics shortly after, followed by downtime, and followed by that, perhaps quest leads or any sort of investigations that you would like to privately pursue. So while I do that, please talk to me. Regale me with tales, or regale yourselves with tales of your past adventure. And show me how you celebrate.
Oh, I begin the toasting by here for Sneferu, king of the Grease, and we laugh mightily about the goblins slipping and sliding and falling all over the grease, because that was humorous in a world, like, there's blood and people getting hurt and dying and an accidental bath that may or may not have been my fault. But the grease was funny, so that's the first thing that we're gonna toast. We all remember the goblins just falling over, and yeah, it's hilarious.
Don't remember that, actually. I was like 300 feet away, alright? I was, Felix was hurt, alright? Ballsy and I were having a moment. It's very important. Although, Snuffy, I'm sure your grease is really greasy.
Oh, it's a great spell if you wanted to do a practical joke. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think I have the capability to learn this, but me and you gotta think of ideas of where this could be very fitting. Have we considered grease in chairs?
No, but it's really funny on like the second to last step.
Oh.
Yeah, that was very
Yes.
common back in the Order.
Oh my, gee, that sounds great. You guys just having a great time, a bunch of people with big hats, fucking around, almost killing each other with spells. Amazing. Dizzy, I'm still caught on the fact that your home doesn't have a name.
Does it need a name?
Yes.
I didn't have a name till I arrived to this continent.
What?
What?
How do you refer to each other? Like, what's the what?
We have
How
no
do you
need to refer to each other.
You don't have a need to, do you not talk to each other? Is this your first conversation?
We talk to each other all the time.
Okay, but if you're talking shit about someone, how do you know who you're talking shit about? If you don't have a name to use.
We don't talk badly of one another.
My god, no gossip? This can't be a real place.
I feel like we're glancing at something. You come from outside of the continent?
You know what? Other
Yes.
places exist, Ballsy, alright?
Yeah, I know other places. It's not common, that's what I'm trying to say.
Evil is right there.
Yeah,
I believe she's from the continent.
yeah,
She
that's
is?
just from
Like, I know you're not good with maps, but perhaps we need to start incorporating geography into our royal
I
lessons.
am strictly
Wait.
speaking from an island off the shore of the continent.
Exactly. So technically, different landmass.
Perhaps I also need to renew my geography courses.
We were going to the same geography lessons.
Beyonce, if I am evil, why does our new companion not die?
Because Dizzy sounds cooler. Maybe your name shouldn't be so close to evil. Also, he makes me dizzy with all the eyes. Get it? Get it? Listen, my nicknames are thematic, okay?
Well,
Ballsy is Ballsy because he's got huge balls. Alright?
First of all,
You're welcome.
do you think me evil?
Second of all, when?
I
Stand
sure
by that.
We were gonna go the other direction. I thought you were like, first of all, no.
I
I'll
show up
have
to
you up
this
here, man.
castle,
Come on.
and now I'm in a kitchen talking about another gentleman's.
okay.
You're
Some
from a place
weird
that has no name.
place.
You can't judge
Let's
us.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Yeah, Snifru, the Grease, great work. Love that.
That's what you want to change the conversation to, Grease?
You really want to go that way?
Frankly, we got off topic about the fact that again Dizzy had no name until he got here. Wild.
True.
Not here
Maybe.
specifically.
Maybe it's another
To,
culture.
to Eos Minoris, that's you came to the continent and
Yes,
named
the
yourself?
continent.
Oh,
From-
I see.
A place
I
that
didn't
has no
travel
name.
all the way here with no name. I got to the
Did
continent.
you come on a
then
boat? Did you
I had
fly?
the-
Did you use your little tentacles to swim?
I
that why you have
just took a
seaweed?
boat.
We lost Diggy again.
Yeah,
The joke was
Oh,
too funny.
she's in the war room. There she is.
I got her. Yeah.
I took a boat like most people.
Could I ask you a personal question, Dyson?
It has many at this point. You don't
Of
need to.
course.
You're a cleric of which? What is the name of your god?
Fish.
The mother.
The Mother. Oh, I missed that.
Sneffer,
Not
give
the
me an
mother of
immediate
bears.
religion check.
Happy to.
Can I also roll religion?
Yes, you can.
Because I think I am proficient in that.
If anyone's proficient, they may roll as well.
Nat 1.
Jesus.
And final, the luck turn, baby! Hell yeah.
The mother.
They worship your mother. 412.
It would be really funny if that was just a your mom joke.
Yeah.
Snaffer,
You
you were
worship
somewhat
your mom?
insulted as you imagine that Dizem is making a your mom joke.
Your mom is a god?
Yo, mama.
For Aluva, who seems to be in like a slightly less joking headspace, you know, you're having a little celebration all to yourself for your success. It makes sense that Sneffer's like, oh, he's making a your mom joke. What a bro.
Don't bring
this
my mother
Dizem
into
guy.
this.
Eluva, a little bit more suspicious of Dizem, knows that several deities have the title of, like, the Mother. One is, like, you know, like, oh, the healing mother kind of figure in the diaspora of human pantheons, right? Who's, like, viewed as a general healing goddess. And then there's, like, the entire reverse opposite of, like, what monstrous clerics do, specifically of Tiamat. They also call her the Mother, for it is thought that she quite literally spawned everyone at the beginning of time. And as Dizem just casually says this, you can't help but, like, worry, like, boy, I really hope he didn't just say I worship Tiamat publicly. To quite literally a crown prince. What do you do with this information?
I think
We're still riffing on your mom. Like, while you're
this
having
is the
this
case
deep, intensive
of not
thought,
enough
like,
information. And what does the Mother do? What does your god do?
Your dad.
I think there's a moment that Eleva just like, I brought that upon myself.
Well, if all of the joking is over, gives me purpose in life.
What does she
Is
do?
the Mother a dragon?
If you're referring to
Dragonborn, of course his mom
my
is a
actual
dragon.
mother.
Jesus, evil.
yes, she was a dragonborn.
I'm referring to the being that you worship.
If you're referring to my god, she is not a dragon.
It was really racist of you.
In that
Just
case,
'cause-
drinks to our new friend.
Dizzy's a dragon doesn't mean Dizzy
Rings.
worships dragon.
I want
Dragonborn.
to go through the larder
See? Different
and
words.
find a fine bottle, whether it's a spirit or an ale. I'm going to specifically find something nice, and I'm going to open it, pour out 6 drinks, and hand them out each to the party. And I'm just going to sit as I do that, and I wait for the like jokes to stop, right? Like all the like your mom, your dad jokes are happening while I'm pouring drinks, right? Elva's like questioning Dizem, and then like finally she's like, all right, drinks on us then, or drinks for our new friend. And I like pour the final drink and hand them out. And I like sit down and I raise a glass to each of them, and I say, "Thank you, companions, for your support during this first of our expeditions. I am here to thank you, for it is without your contributions for it is not without your contributions that I could succeed in my ambitions." And I take a long drink. And I kind of look to Dizem after I drink, and I say, "It is, of course, my ambition to cover the Marchette name in glory. I am raising a banner, a company of my retinue, my closest friends, of strong-willed people of great use and interest and beauty. Dizem, you wish to come to my country, you wish to settle here. I ask you this in return. You are clearly a person of great means, great powers, perhaps even ambitions of your own. Join us. Use your powers to help us. Help cover the retinue and the glory that we will earn. And in return, you will have a home and companions here. What say you?"
It is clear that my god has led me here, and that I
Indeed.
arrived at the exact moment I needed to be. I will join you on your quest.
Very good. May you be the first of many. And then I finish off my drink, and I go to pour like drinks for everyone else. And as I finish last drink, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, so
shots,
about the
shots,
banner.
shots.
About the banner. Yes, the banner.
Alright, cut off
I will
there.
fade out
As
we-
I want to reward
Gotta be
you all,
big.
except for Dizem, unfortunately, but I believe you started at level 3, so this would not level you anyway. Everyone, please take home 370 experience for combat, roleplay, and quest.
Could you repeat that for me real
Nice.
quick?
370 experience points, which I know for a fact will get
Thank
a
you.
level 1 character to level 2. But I don't know if it'll get a level 2
Look at
character to
that
level
babe.
3.
Take a what character?
A level 2 character to level 3. Maybe I'm wondering
Yo.
if you're shy or...
It will not.
I don't know. I think I am.
You may be shy by like 100 or so, which hopefully you will get during downtime.
Was I supposed to start out with experience points?
You should have.
We had some previously.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You started out at level 2. You should have started with 900 EXP. Sorry.
Oh, I definitely did not start with.
No, wait, that's level 3. You should start
That's
with
like,
300 EXP.
whoa.
Beyonce, yours looks
I
correct.
believe you are now at
Okay.
845 EXP, if I did my math correct.
I'm not at that.
Yeah, you're off.
Izem, you also have a new bond with the prince. You accepted to be part of my retinue, so I have a bond with you that reads, Dizem is a risk. I will prove to the world a risk worth taking.
Aw.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stylish.
Next up, now that experience has been calculated and added, I know at least our level 1 monk will become a level 2 something. Maybe a hybrid, maybe just more monk. Who knows? But I want to get into our characteristics of loyalty, honor, ambition, servility, and tyranny. We're going to start out with the It looks like Greg's writing. So we're all going to judge Greg's character, Linus, here. How much of a tyrant has he been to you guys? It doesn't... I personally, to prime you all, don't think he's been much of one. He's been pretty fair and honest with you all from the start.
He has been, yeah.
Throwing himself into the combat, hasn't sat on his high horse and made us take the blows for him.
Listen
Sure.
to advice, gave me blankets.
People blankets, true! A tyrant would hoard them for themselves, surely.
Mm-hmm. Opened his party up to a stranger.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
I would almost argue that is a little bit more tyrant than not. I essentially walked up to a strange person with 4 eyes and black scales who was being denied entry to the country, and I looked at them and said, "I collect beautiful things. Join me." And I will watch you. And I made a decision without any input and just added a potential like loose cannon to the party. I don't necessarily want my tyranny to go up. I'm just gonna
Beyonce
throw
thought it was
out
very
that
romantic.
is not a particularly untyrannical.
Yeah, it was strangely romantic.
Yeah. It was...
You
I
know,
was like,
You
oh
are
my God, the
beautiful.
sexual tension.
You must be mine.
honestly, I
Right?
think that's more of a point of either loyalty or ambition there for you, Glynis. You literally were like, oh, this is a pawn for my board, or it is a person who wants to join my country, which I represent. So if you would like to add a point of loyalty or ambition, I will let you choose either one.
I'll say ambition because I saw a person with 4 eyes and dragonborn and called himself a cleric. Is like this is a risk worth taking, right? Let's put power on the squad.
Okay.
So I will take +1 ambition.
We will now open up the floor to whoever dares to increase their characteristics here.
It is my understanding that loyalty is like a concept, right?
Concept, country,
Right.
ideal, yeah. Person, even.
I would like to nominate Yonsei because their commitment to the bit in these last couple sessions has been undisputed.
The
They're definitely
loyalty of,
loyal.
like, to be a clown.
Yeah, I have a couple of jokes like on the DL that like I bring up every session, and
Yeah.
the place the place in line for the throne was one of them, and I was changing the numbers, and I was just waiting for someone to notice.
Yeah.
I
the
honestly
commitment to the
didn't
bit has
notice,
been-
but I think it's hilarious that you had the same like plan, just better. You were just on top of it.
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm gonna one day say it directly to the king's face. That's up there. There's an evolution like path.
Okay, I could see your loyalty going up. Does anyone think by doing that is requiring a negative somewhere for Yonsei, maybe?
Can you remind me
Find
what
my
their
honor
traits
so
are? I know there's like at least one slight difference.
Yours
You have
is
servility.
between servility and tyranny for Glynis.
And so they have ambition, honor, and loyalty.
and servility.
So
Like,
I
how...
would argue
Go for it.
I would argue that sticking to the bit at all costs and making the king like legitimately try to reprimand her through me, or like makes a ambitious play, right? That is the ambition of your goal of being the funniest jokester in the world. And I think that like loyalty and or honor, whichever one you feel like is more appropriate to like the kingdom, right? Like maybe it's your honor actually that would be like potentially a minus because you are like spreading misinformation about the throne and your ability to ascend it.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, I would say that Yonsei does get a minus in honor because also did not participate in that fight at all. Like, did come back to
That's fair.
save you, but like was not like putting my life on the line in any capacity. As soon as I could leave the combat, Yonsei was like, "All right, there's your peace. Have fun. Hope you guys don't die."
Oh, sure. I will...
I'm taking a 2 to honor.
Okay. Yeah, subtract 1 point in honor and add 1 to either loyalty to your concept of clowns, or to the ambition of being the greatest clown in the world. Or court jester,
I'm
I
doing
should
loyalty
say.
for this one.
Okay. Moving
I'm
on
combining
to
it with this healing thing.
someone else. I suppose we could jump to Jeff if we would like to go clockwise here for Felix Balzac Passeroux.
Ballsy.
Any arguments anyone would like to suppose for him?
He was quite honorable in his handling of the prisoner, and as his willingness to fight for the prince's honor for Alluvia's glib remarks. Eleva's glib remarks.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Evil.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'd say honor
Sure did.
definitely for Felix.
He also took a prisoner when he didn't need to and kind of went the extra step. I would say that is an honorable thing of not immediately just like killing everyone you can, but like accepting surrender. Like that is an honorable thing for sure. So Felix,
second
take
both
a
those points.
point in honor.
Woo.
Any other suggestions or maybe even a malice to give to Felix here?
I would
Brad,
say
I know you've been watching the
he's
VODs.
continued.
You want to chip in here?
Ah, he was nice to me. That's all that matters.
Beyonce always thinks that Felix is doing the best.
Jeff, would you like to argue for yourself a point in either direction?
Trying to find what could justify a negative point.
Yeah.
What did I do bad?
If I could speak.
Yeah.
I could see a justification to a malice to ambition, just because you were willing to fight for someone else's honor. You were willing to take a prisoner, not necessarily for any other reason, just because it was the right thing to do, and that's good for your honor. But maybe you're not taking the initiative as much.
You have been kind of
That's
reactive, for
wrong.
sure. Sort of not doing what
Mhm.
Glynis has ordered immediately just because he's ordering you to. But you have definitely, like, taken a step back from pursuing your own objective of being a... Well, I don't even know what Felix wants yet for out of life. Does he want to be
Does
the
he?
greatest swordsman in the world?
I think that the main objective would be recognition, not only for his companion, but from maybe the court itself, because as it has been shown earlier, he is just a commoner in a land of nobles. So and a tiefling on top of that. So
Mhm.
clearly he is looking for recognition and fame, which is why he might be a bit of an extrovert when it comes to let's say the show.
I see. I would then say you should
yeah.
take away a point of ambition solely because this entire part, or your part in this great performance of this mission, was to enhance Glynis's reputation. You were his companion, yeah, but like, did you really distinguish yourself or make efforts to distinguish yourself?
Yeah, not really. It was as a first adventure. It was mostly to make sure the prince would, well, one, come back alive,
Yeah.
and of course would shine on his own.
I would argue that he should keep the point of ambition because he was so observing of threats to his honor and the prince's honor that he was willing to draw his blade, be it in court or in battle. So I'd say he'd keep his ambition for now.
I'll leave that up to Jeff. Jeff, you can decide to either remove it or keep it.
I think I'll remove it. Just because on one hand I do agree with Ruby. It's just that I do think that the whole campaign we had, like the whole expedition we had, kinda outweighed the job of the champion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
That's fair.
I'll have occasions to shine in the ambition domain.
For certainly. Downtime is the perfect opportunity to pursue your own ambitions and to rope others into your own misadventures. Let us move on to Aluva. Aluva, is there any point
Ambition.
you would... Oh? What's up?
Completely went off and tried to do her own investigation.
Very true.
Yeah.
Any points anyone else would like to argue for or make a case for?
Honor.
Support. Honor? Yeah.
She told off the prince for brutalizing a goblin in an ocean / lake thing. You know, she like that was big memes. I thought, and I was going along with it, and then Eliva was like, "That's not big memes. Where that's actually really awful." And like, I don't know. I feel like that is an honorable thing. I would vote for a point of honor.
I would say honor as well for her reprimanding, though snide, to Bronson about his servant, or
That's
choice of
actually
servants.
also very true. Seconded.
Yeah.
Well, we're
In
not going to
that
give
same
multiple points
situation-
out.
Mm.
So at least one characteristic. Otherwise, we'd be here for years.
I think honor would work. Yeah.
It sounds like we're in
and
consensus.
for the same.
I'm in
Go for it.
disagreement.
Sorry,
I don't think
Jeff.
that was honor.
Yeah.
You
No,
think
it's-
it's more ambition?
Ambitious. Yeah.
That might be her form of honor is ambition.
Yeah. But was she honoring the prince, or was she seeking her own answers because she can't leave it well enough alone?
It was just more honorable.
I think we'd leave it up to Eliva for where the point goes, I guess.
I feel like in this particular case, I think she has been acting rather honorable. She has her own ambitions, however, I don't think she acted very strongly on them as of late. I hope that she does very soon, but I don't think she did very much right now.
Then please take a point into honor. I'm looking at the characteristics, and I can't think of a reason to dock you a point or introduce a malice to either loyalty or ambition, nor servility, because you kind of performed your role exactly as asked without, like, going above and beyond. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else could.
For a malice? No, I don't think so.
Neither do I. Alright. Then that only leaves Snefru, because Dizem's getting a reprieve this session since we just met him. And he only was able to play for like half a session. And truly just introduce his character.
If he actually does worship Tiamat, I want him to take a point of ambition You don't even have to tell us, but you like went, oh yeah, I worship the mother, like right in front of everyone's faces, and then like
Yeah,
push
like
off.
if that's
I
So like
don't
if
worship
you're
Tiamat.
secretly an evil cleric, like big win right there.
yeah, if
Otherwise,
you are secretly an evil cleric, like take a loyalty bonus for just saying, yeah, I'm an evil cleric in front of everyone.
yeah, just like lots of pluses for that.
For sure. But Snefru, does anyone have any... Go for it.
I will knock a point of ambition off because he's been so focused about keeping his job, he hasn't even thought about his arcane studies lately.
I think you should get one for servility or honor. Snefru has always been like the steadfast, like wise, get things done in a way that is professional vibe to the group. Not that evil
I'd
doesn't
like
try.
servility
but-
as a narrative counterpoint. He's like been very focused on keeping his job, and the way he's been doing that is by like offering assistance as much as possible, right? But like very much being like super advisor man, and that sounds to me like servility more than anything.
I can see it.
Yeah, it does sound like servility.
Yeah. Go ahead and add one of those to your character sheet there.
I think I just called Snefru a brown noser.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he really is, though.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we got a new guy. Better show him where he's gonna sleep and everything.
You know, he's only been doing this for a couple years, and now the prince has finally taken initiative. I think he's like, this is the golden time to brown nose.
My chance has presented itself.
Secure the position.
Okay. Next time on the Ordeals of Livistio, we will be doing our first long rest, as well as downtime, as well as a level up. Greg, I see you rolled for HP. I think we agreed in session
I
0.
did, and it like didn't work on your character mancer since you made me use it. I'm gonna have to manually change down to 13.
There's no way. it
Dissing
didn't
on
work.
you.
Look at my character sheet right now. It says 15, not 13.
Want to give you the average?
Uh-huh.
I think we're just doing the average.
Let's do the average.
Yeah.
Not only is Yonsei and Skilly the same age, now they also have the same amount of hit points.
So,
Truly
for
distant cousins.
you guys at home, as well as the people watching, quests are going to be more player-driven. Things will be presented as you speak with more people, but there's not going to be the peasant running in saying, "Oh, the dragon's attacking! We need the prince to save us! Please help us, your highness! And only you can
Don't die.
Nor is there going to be, like, a immediate chosen one, unless it just so happens that Yonsei is beloved by the bear, and they are the rightful heir to the country for some reason. As a meme. So, the quests you take are going to be up to you, and most of those threads are going to be found, discovered, or created during, like, downtime sessions. Where we spend time on individual characters going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, figuring out what they all have been up to for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, depending on how many long rests you guys need to take to, like, fully recover. If you have, like, an exhausting journey that takes months to go through, you know, chances are you're going to have somewhat equivalent time just chilling out, de-stressing, recovering. No one was incredibly injured, thanks to liberal use of magic. But if we had been more conservative with our healing abilities, then someone might have a scar that they would be hosting and taking to this party that is apparently a week and change away.
You need a scar? Yonsei will give you a scar. Hold
I
out,
got these
Felix.
guys.
Maybe next time.
So yeah, the initiative is certainly, or rather, the ball is certainly in your court. coming up here. So what I would ask of the players is to think of something you think your characters would be doing during downtime. Whether it's going into town and going on a shopping spree, or blowing 200 gold at a gambling den, or something that you feel like speaks to your character other than, John, I stare at a wall for 7 days so I can mechanically get my fucking resources back so that I can actually go adventure. Like, do something your character
John, I
would
stare at a
do.
wall for 7 days.
You son of a bitch.
It only works if you do that.
Wait, no, he meditates.
I meditate at a
NPC
wall
idol,
for
Meditate,
7
yeah.
days.
like in a corner.
I stare at my grandfather's blade for 7 straight days.
I do.
wishing it
I
would
just
come
long
into
for
my
it.
hand.
It speaks to you.
Every once in a while, like a single tear rolling down your cheek.
The sad boy music plays in the background.
Someone has to come and like stick an IV drip because you haven't had anything to eat in 5 days.
Lose 10 pounds.
How do you think
That's how
he
I
keeps
stay
his
fit.
luscious figure?
Diet.
Okay. Well,
John like
without
it's supporting itself.
further ado, if anyone wishes to shout themselves out, otherwise we can call it here. Say our goodbye.
Sure, I'll do a minor shout out. Hi, I'm Greg Hansen. You can find me at twitch.tv/Greg Hansen, or on YouTube at the same place. I do a lot of D&D stuff. I have hosted a long-running, multi-seasoned West Marches campaign, which will be starting up sometime in the next 6 months again, which is open to anyone who wants to play. I would encourage you to come check it out and play with us. I also am streaming some Lobotomy Corporation when I have the time, and it's been weird and fun. So come check it out, and I hope to see you then.
Hell yeah. Check him out. Anybody else?
And not just for my jawline.
Gonna boost
I
the
will shout out
podcast.
that me and Yancy are matching.
Oh.
Indeed.
The Blazer Crew. Look at that.
Hell yeah.
I'm plugging my friend's podcast, Infinite Cities, if you want to hear about video games by indie artists. And I think one of the most recent episodes was talking about like old game consoles and things like that. If you guys are into that and you want to hear just way too many details about it, I had to hear it from the other room. It was a lot. But if you're into it, I'm sure it'd be really entertaining for someone. Infinite Cities, wherever you guys get your podcasts.
Ooh. Wherever? Anywhere? Are you
Wherever.
sure?
Yeah.
All right, I'm
Anywhere.
gonna go on the hunt for the most obscure podcast streaming service now, and just click on it and be like, "Where is it? It's not here."
Funnily enough, someone joined one of our like video game discords by listening to an episode and had up until that point like not interacted at all with this media. It's like that was your connection to this thing, was through a podcast that 200 people maybe have listened to total. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it
I
happens.
found a thumb drive on the alleyway outside of Denny's, and your podcast isn't on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe not wherever, Guess not in the alleyway of Denny's. Denny's does not support us. IHOP, though.
The alleyway outside an IHOP instead.
Yeah, the alleyway outside IHOP. We're
Oof.
there.
Last chance.
Coming soon to Waffle House.
We don't have Waffle House.
A shout out to my girlfriend whose stolen sweater I'm currently wearing.
Oh,
Not
That's
matching
adorable.
Jeff.
Well, I don't think I have any shout out to say right now. I guess shout out to my Twitch channel that doesn't stream anymore for a few weeks now. Nah, I'll plan to get back on streaming once it's get easier with schedules. No, actually, shout out to for any French speaker out there, Les Supernova, which will host very soon Pokemon campaign, and it's gonna be great. I'll be a player in there. I play a poison type mad scientist.
Ooh,
It's fun.
Ooh, fun.
That sounds cool.
that does sound
Yeah,
cool.
it is.
Alrighty, that is going to be us at the retinue. We should get some X handle. X, is that what they call Twitter now? Well, we'll figure out
No,
something.
No, it's still called Twitter,
It's Twitter.
actually.
It's
still called
Twitter.
Twitter. Don't ever call it X.
You know, one day I'll get on
It's
branding.
the worst name. You guys been on X.com? And I was like, what is...
All right,
Sounds
I'm
like a
playing the
porn
outro
site.
music.
Exactly,
Everyone who
yes.
listens to my
I'm
voice,
glad you said it.
see you next week. Don't die.